matrilineal lines. And so even up into like recent years, because there are still boarding schools open to this very day. We live like within 30 minutes of one right now. Children were taken from their families, and those matrilineal knowledge systems were lost for girls. And so like indigenous cultural knowledge was basically erased. But a lot of tribes are like talking about how to like bring back these cultures and like what it looked like and how we can make it better. Some of the old knowledges talk about like which mosses were used as pads and why, which traditional medicines. A lot of like women in tribal cultures are taking back traditional medicines that were used to manage period pain.
Oh, cool.
And talking about how the belief that like women were banished to a bleeding house or to like a hay bale or whatever is like told from the wrong perspective, because it was more likely about them letting them rest rather than any like imposed restrictions from the tribe.
Right.
Like imagine a world where women weren't made to feel like weak or like lepers that had to like leave society. But like that they're actually going through something powerful and amazing, and that it's okay to take some time for yourself. It's okay to not go to PE that day. It's okay to call in sick to work. It's okay to make more sick days for women who like need more days because they are on their periods. It's more empowering. It's better for the like society overall.
Right. Yeah, like rest and recharge and come back fresh, and also like really it would make the concept of like self-care as like a ritualistic practice, you know, like a repeated cycle. Like make that okay, as opposed to like I feel like in the media a lot of what you get the idea of like what self-care looks like is like taking a bath and eating chocolate, which is totally great as self-care. I, for one, am a huge fan. But it makes it seem like this kind of isolated experience where like, wow, when you're just like at your total wit's end and you just can't anymore, then you get to take, you know, an evening to yourself.
Calgon, take me away.
No, seriously, please.
Yeah.
Calgon.
No, I like, yeah. Where the fuck has Calgon been? Like all this time. No, I take baths like 3 times a week.
That's so
good. Like rest. I mean, it's not even like a self-care routine for me. It is like my routine. It's just my routine. If I want to do self-care, then I will like, you know, I'll pull out like a face mask and I'll do like all kinds of other like relaxing stuff in my room or something. But like a bath is just not one of the things that is a self-care thing for me. It's just the way that I get clean, and it's a part of my routine. And my muscles and bones hurt a lot because have not been kind to my body. Too many mosh pits, you know, stuff like that. Taking mad jumps on my BMX, stuff like that.
Badass. Surfing the red wave.
Yeah, surviving Shark Week every month. So, you know, that's just pain management for me. And I don't think that we should have to, like, say that these things that we do to manage our pain and to manage our period, like, cramps and stuff like that should be considered self-care. I think that it should just be considered care.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a reason that it's important that we talk about it is, I mean, there's a deeper issue. Like, reproductive rights are on the table right now across America as our state and national legislators and House representatives vote on and pass laws that are dangerous to women and trans folks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's under siege as usual.
As usual, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been really, really evident. Like Montana's, like I live in Montana, and so Montana has been
Ugh.
awful.
It's been a
And
trash fire this legislative session.
absolutely. And because of the intersexual nature, intersexual? Intersection. Intersectional.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah. Nature of our podcast, we actually can and have connected like attitudes of like major cultural attitudes, including menstruation during this episode, to eating disorders, lateral violence, self-harm, impossible beauty standards, sexualized violence, and femicide that are norms in collective colonial realities. When we're socialized to hide in silence and be ashamed and of just like our menstruating bodies,
Yeah.
then there's an underlying message that we are just shameful because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so we're objects to be like cleaned and sanitized and deemed proper by a values system that places toxic masculinity and predatory capitalism as king.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Like, I've been thinking about this since we decided to talk about this topic. Like, the way that we deal with periods culturally right now is to not talk about them and pretend that they're not happening. So there's like boatloads of all of these products that are made to, clean it up, keep it invisible, make sure that you don't smell, make sure that there's no way that anyone who is not you could know that you have your period. And that is like, I can see where it comes from. And I think that probably there's like a whole lot of like feminist actions that probably went on to make it more possible for women to be in the workforce, whether or not they're menstruating. And that's because like, in order to quote unquote, get ahead in the world, you have to be able to work through your period. You have to pretend like it's not happening because it's gross and it's scary and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to smell it. Nobody wants to acknowledge that it's happening. And so I understand where that comes from. Like, you want to fit in to get by. And, as a person who's worked in a lot of different capacities in a lot of places for a lot of years, I totally get that. I don't really want people to know when I'm on my period necessarily. But in doing that, you're invisibilizing it and you're cutting people off from their bodies. Like, you're demanding that people ignore or medicate away the pain and discomfort and just continue to operate as if something really profound is not happening in their bodies. And I don't think that there's anything wrong necessarily with someone who wants to ignore that and feels better if they work through it. Great, you do you. But at the same time, it is part of this larger process of, if you have a body that menstruates, that your only way to do well in the world is to like cover it up and pretend that you are really not linked to that body. And that is doing us a huge disservice, medically speaking, and just, our understanding of who we are as like physical and, spiritual beings. Like, there is a link between menstruation and the moon cycle. And whether or not you are like a witchy, pagan, woo-woo person like I am, like, that is a powerful truth. And I think, I don't know, it feels really sanitized and uncomfortable to me to try to separate my lived experience from that truth, even though my entire lived experience has been with the understanding that I should be ashamed of it and I shouldn't talk about it for my whole life. But like, the older I get, the more I'm like, well, that's fucked up. Like, I do have periods. They're a big factor in my life. They fucking hurt. Like, my whole body changes. All of my hormones change over the course of the month. And like, I should be allowed to experience that without being made fun of. And I don't know. I have a lot of really complicated feelings about it, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So what I said about the value system that places toxic masculinity on predatory capitalism, those come from a writer whose name is Nikki Sanchez. Nikki's work unapologetically talks about why it's important for people to fight the urge to secrefy this thing that happens to our body. And she actually touches on what she said. She talks about how she personally calls it moon time. And why? Because indigenous cultures have practices, teachings, and ceremonies that connect our menstruating bodies to the moon. Another thing that everybody doesn't really talk about, and I didn't realize until I brought it up one time as a option for a joke to tell on stage, but I wanted to talk about period poops.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes.
And I was going to make this big let's talk about period poops thing, and but then I found out that
people would run out of there crying if you did.
I found out that guys don't even know that's a thing. A lot of the guys, the other comics were like, "What the fuck, is that real?" It's yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh shit, I didn't look this up in my research. I didn't get to it, but I remember reading something fairly recently that actually explained physiologically why.
My guess was that because I was having cramps and everything was kind of irritated and trying to work on getting the blood out of my body, that my one organ pissed off my other organs, and it was just a chain effect where it was everything's gonna hurt and you're gonna shit.
The reality that I was reading about is that they believe that all of the organs in that part of your body more or less communicate with each other, and whether it's on purpose or not is up for debate, but that when your uterus and your reproductive system are releasing all of the chemicals that say now's the time to get rid of everything, that it goes to the other areas or the other parts of you that are in that same area, and that includes your poop area.
Yeah, the worst part about it is trying to wipe poop off your ass when you have a tampon string hanging out.
Oh my God, you're tricks. So right.
We need to make a tips and tricks section.
I was looking up myths about tampons for this.
Oh yeah?
Because I remember hearing a few ridiculous ones when I was younger, and I was wondering if there were any new ones. And so I ended up reading a bunch of articles about here's the myth, here's the reality. And there was a lot of talk about peeing on your tampon string. And apparently there's a myth that you need to change your tampon every time you pee because you're inevitably going to get the tampon string wet, and that's bad for you. And the experts are okay, number one, it's not really that bad for you. It's a little uncomfortable and unpleasant if you have pee on your tampon string, but it's not going to hurt you. But number two, dude, just move it out of the way. What is wrong with you people? And I always found that you can take the tampon string and position yourself on a toilet seat so that it's between your leg and the toilet seat, and it's just held up out of the way. No big deal, not a problem, and it stays dry.
Yeah, I just I was told to change it every single time I go pee, so I do. And it's not because I think that anything bad's gonna happen, but it's just because I am unable to hold the string up and go, and I just feel there's some acrobatics there that I'm just not able to do.
Yeah, it gets complicated. that is true. Another one, I think that probably where a lot of the always change your tampon every time you pee came from is the toxic shock syndrome idea, which I remember being fucking terrified of when I was a kid, because there's all these warning labels all over every tampon box about how you're going to get toxic shock syndrome and die.
Yeah.
So I looked into it, and what I was